What's up, guys? Blade Show 2021. I have the privilege to sit down with Gavin Hawk. Gavin,
Awesome.
How are you doing,
Kurt,
man?
thanks for having me, man.
Oh my gosh, so happy that we were able to get you over here.
Yeah.
Last day of the show.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to catch you.
Yeah, no, it's great. The show's been awesome. We introduced a new model this year at the show, the Model C, which has been, I've been working on this for years, kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We started with the Model A, we went to the Model B, and there's a certain configuration here. We've got the three-piece setup.
Yeah.
And every model, or every version rather, I was re-engineering the insides of this thing. Okay. And I took this as far as I could possibly go. I improved it as best I could with this configuration. I just couldn't go any further. And so I literally just had to throw that whole system away and start off, from the ground up with a new version. And so that's the Model C. We've got it's a two-part configuration now. Which is really going to help all the manufacturing side problems we were having, all the assembly problems we were having. It's what makes this so different as far as the manufacturing and the assembly is that with this three-piece configuration, this isn't solid. It's not a solid handle until it's all screwed together.
Yeah, sandwiched.
Yeah, it has to be sandwiched, and the tolerances, the stack up of tolerances for doing that, it's really intense and it's hard, and so
a lot of fine tuning, I'm sure.
There's a lot of fine tuning, and so in assembly, we'd have, all these frames and all these stop plates, and so the assembly guy has to measure each one and find a combination that works.
Gotcha.
And it was a lot, and so with this new one, the handle, the main thick part here, it's solid. It's already solid, so that's like my base. And now I screw everything to that base, and it just changes everything in assembly and
solid foundation.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, so cool.
So that was one of the big changes as far as the reconfiguring of things. The other big thing we did here is we had to change materials, and some people were a little upset because we are going to aluminum, and I fell for this trap as well, where titanium is always the best option.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're doing with it, titanium is always the best.
Yeah.
And that's not true. And in this particular case, titanium was one of the worst options to pick. And I struggled and I fought it because this piece, by the time I get done machining it, it's weak. There's nothing there.
Right.
And until you sandwich together, again, it doesn't have the rigidity. But the other thing with titanium is that it's sticky and it's gally, right?
Yeah. I learned that actually here at the show. It's almost like gummy.
It is, and that's why they first started with frame locks. They'd carbonize that the lock face,
right? And
then later the trend now is you put a steel lock insert in there.
Yeah.
It's because the steel is so much
stronger. It can take that punishment.
That's right, and it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
And so that's what was going on with this. So I carbonized the inside. We go in with little stones and we polish it up a little bit, but carbonizing is never smooth.
Right.
So that was the problem that I was really struggling with, is having this blade channel that the blade would slide in and out.
Yeah.
But it's rough, right?
Right.
So aluminum. Now there's a couple of things with aluminum. So most people have give aluminum a bad reputation because of 6061. It's not a very strong aluminum, but 7075 is a great material. It's twice the tensile strength and shear strength of 6061.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
And it's harder to machine. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you went to aluminum so you can machine it. Well, 7075 is not a snap to machine. It's still a harder material.
Right.
And then the other thing is the anodizing. So most knives are using a Type 2 anodizing, especially if it's colorful.
Okay.
And Type 2 is a decorative finish or coating.
I've noticed that it can kind of change over time,
and it wears off, right?
Yeah.
But Type 3, it's used for its mechanical purposes. It's a really hard surface. It's in the 70 Rockwell.
Oh wow.
Yeah, super
That's
hard.
Impressive.
And the friction coefficiency of it is amazing.
That's so cool.
And so now I have this smooth blade channel. It's weird because the buttons are both smooth, right?
Right.
But but just when it comes out, you can just feel how smooth the blade travels in and out, and it's just different.
If you guys have not handled a Gavin Hawk knife, you've got to get your hands on one, even just to actuate it once.
Right.
It is so satisfying, and I'm not just saying that. Like, this is one of the best OTFs of all time. You are constantly pushing the mark,
right.
you know, and so satisfying. This is my favorite part, when it sucks back in.
Right.
Oh
That's
my
nice.
gosh.
This one, you know, it's funny because this one has a different sound.
It does.
By doing the solid handle, it changed the sound of the knife, and I like it better. Not that this has a bad sound, it's just
absolutely.
they're different, and this is cool. I like it, and so and obviously if nobody's ever seen the Deadlock before, the main thing we were trying to do, which we accomplished, is having a solid lockup.
No play at all. Zero play.
Yeah. And that was, our original goal. So we've had 3 models, Model A, B, and C. Model A, the first prototype, we just wanted to lock up solid.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That was our goal. It didn't matter how many parts were in there, how hard they were to make.
Right.
It just had to lock up solid, and it was complicated. I even put little rubies in the screws so nobody could take this thing apart.
Nice.
Because it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to take apart.
I can't even imagine. And to be honest, with something like this, why are you taking it apart?
Well, okay, so hold on. So we got a little bit of evolution here. So for the prototypes, do not take those apart. The first, maybe second generation, maybe leave those alone as well. But my design goal, several of them, but one of them was to make it easier to manufacture.
Right.
But in the mix there, I added a goal of making it easily disassembled, so that the user can take this apart and clean it.
Yeah.
And so I was putting little E-clips on things and retainers so that the springs aren't popping out. Like, and I did a little video and I explained, like, this is how you take it apart, because the reason that you need to take an OTF apart is, eventually you're going to get something down in there and it's going to get stuck.
Pocket lint, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It goes in there.
Yeah. So having the ability to take it apart, I felt was really important. So that was a very big design focus. Is take it apart, clean it. I even ship it with like a T6 wrench.
Oh, nice.
So that I encourage people to take it apart, watch the video. And not everybody's mechanically inclined. If you take it halfway apart and you have a problem, just send it in. Like, we'll put it back together. It's not a big deal.
That's so cool.
So, and this one, is super easy as well to take apart. It's been fun. It's been, for me as a designer and inventor, obviously it's my project, but watching a project from the very beginning and the evolution of the mechanics, like, nobody else really gets to see it unless you've bought every one and you've taken them apart. Right. But the inside has changed so much. It's so cool. I threatened to do a video series of like each one and showing this evolution, because the outside, like if you took this Model B, which is one of our last ones, and the very first one, there's no real difference on the outside, but inside, it's changed a lot. So anyways, the evolution of the Deadlock.
I love it because you are never stopping trying to improve and pushing your product to the next level. Guys, the Deadlock is insane. Absolutely zero play in the blade, which is extremely hard to accomplish.
Right, yeah, nobody had done it before. We had done that, yeah.
Right? And I love the ramp. It's subtle, but you get aggressive jimping on there to be able to push it and pull it well.
Right.
I like that it's longer on the push side, because it doesn't mess up your thumb as much. And some of those actuators out there in the industry they're
a little rough.
Aggressive, very aggressive. And so to be able to do this, and this is the kind of knife you could fire all day long and you're not going to be like, oh, my thumbs, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of us, we got some calloused thumbs, right? Because this is what we do. We play with knives. But man, so smooth. I love
the texture on the back. Yeah,
you really are able to get a really good purchase. Like
And again,
You're not going to drop this.
That was an evolutionary thing. We made our first prototypes, and they didn't have any of the texture. And like, you know, you're trying to, it's just slick.
Yeah, they become slick.
And we saw customers that were, you know, trying to use those first 14, and like they were struggling with holding on to it. And so it's like, all right, let's put some traction there. And so that's, yeah, we put a little traction on the front and the back.
I love it. Well, and it gives it a good aesthetic, because if you're looking at the back of the knife or the front, it's almost a mirror image, you know?
Right.
And I absolutely, I nerd out about the pocket clip.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, the spring-loaded pocket clip. You got to get in there and get that, Carson. Here, let me try to. It is the coolest pocket clip out there. I absolutely love it. It is beautiful. You got some jimping on it, so you can actually get on there. You're not gonna slip off, let go.
Right, exactly.
It's easy to actuate the pocket clip. And for such a high quality knife.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying this to toot your horn. I 100% for a quality knife, as a customer myself, this means a lot to me, because I'm able to put my Grail knife, you know, in my pocket securely and safely without just shoving it down in there. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, and you know, there's a couple cool things about the clip. Obviously, putting it in your pants, you open it and it just slides right in. You don't have to force it. You don't have to like grab your pocket, hold it tight, and shove your knife in there. It just,
which I've had to do here at the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it slides in and out and so effortlessly. And you know, after you get used to it, it's second nature. It's just in and out, perfect. The other nice thing is that you know, it's a thick bar.
It really is.
Like it's a bar. So if you catch it on something, you're not going to tweak the clip.
You're not pulling it out.
Yeah. So, anyways, I love the clip. I can't live without that kind of clip ever. Like, it's just, I need it. And then the button, getting back to the button, you know, we made some big changes here. You know, this one is obviously symmetrical in this direction. This one isn't. But we really wanted to focus on, you know, how your thumb works. So, you know, your pad of your thumb right here, when you're pushing, having that big long ramp, it's amazing. But when you're pulling, you want something steeper.
Well, you pull more with the tip of your thumb, and
then you
pushing
push with your
the pad.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then it's hard to see in the video, but this is actually undercut. So it really kind of grips your thumb. It's almost like Velcro for your thumb.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take as much down pressure, you know, because you only have so much strength in your thumb, right? And so you can push it down and you can push it forward. So if you're using all your strength to press down, it's hard to push forward.
Hard to get, and a lot of pressure on the slide, and especially with materials or how your button is laid out, you end up pushing a lot of friction up with some of those.
Yep.
So you get the aggressive jimping on the button and the constant having to push hard. None of this with Gavin's knives. Absolutely zero. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's, like I said, the theme of this is it's been an evolution. And I don't know, I'm really happy and I'm excited for how the Model C turned out. Yeah, it's awesome.
One day, I'm gonna get my pocket on one of your knives. I wanted the Deadlock for so long, but it's such a cool design.
Thank you.
Honestly, you can really see the inventive, precision, expert in what you are doing. It's not just, let's make as many knives as possible. It's, I have a quality that I am pushing the bar constantly higher, and I will better that knife the next time. The evolution.
Yeah,
it's the
exactly.
evolution.
And you know, in the world of OTFs, you know, customer service and fixing knives is a big thing. You know, and some of these companies have whole departments just for fixing knives that are coming back all the time. And so I didn't want to do that. It's not like I've never had knives come back. You know, again, it's been an evolution. So, you know, I can make one prototype and I can play with it and try and figure it out. But until you make 200 of them and they're out there in the field, they're just things you can't foresee. And so somebody sends a knife back and I study it, like, okay, what happened? What's going on here? And so I can learn from those things and implement that going forward. And so, and that was what had to happen. You know, if I would have made, you know, 10,000 of these, well, and then they started coming back, like I couldn't have done it. And so it's we've been going real slow and developing as we go, and now I think we're at a spot where the mechanism is perfect. It's working great. It's exciting. I'm really excited about this.
Well, and if you're not constantly pushing yourself to the next level, you plateau. Like people are. I think it's in a lot of our nature to take a break, and you plateau, and then you get used to that, and it becomes more of a norm for you. But one thing you always do, man, you're pushing it to the next level. And as an inventor, dude, this stuff is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm not, dude. I'm a big fan, right?
Right.
But the genius that you have and the time spent on the details, that is what pushes your product to the top.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, man. It's nice to hear for sure.
I appreciate you coming, man. It's been great having you on, man.
Thank you, Kurt.
It's an honor to meet you. I love what you make. It's jewelry. It's pocket jewelry.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's such a conversation piece, and once you explain to people what it actually is, they're like, oh damn, that's hardcore.
Well, and it's fun, you can tell people like this has no blade play, and you can tell them that over and over and over until they actually pick one up and do it, and they're like, oh wow, it really doesn't have any blade play, because it feels like a fixed blade. Yeah.
Oh, it's so solid. It's insanely solid. And that's why I really want you guys in the audience, if you ever have a chance to get your hands on a Gavin Hawk, play with it, feel it, and pay attention to how smooth, how much it locks up. And it's solid. It's solid, man. Super solid. And the details, time well spent into an amazing product.
Thank you.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, Kurt.
Seriously, thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys, we have got some more 2021 SHOT Show. Not SHOT Show.
Blade Show.
Blade Show.
Yeah.
I said that actually in the last video, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind.
It's Sunday. It's like
Day
the end
3.
of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But make sure you guys stay tuned. Tons of really cool stuff. Gavin is a stud. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll just catch you guys on the next one.
Awesome.
All right, guys, Blade Show 2021, that's a wrap. Make sure you jump over, check out the playlist, hit the website if you want to buy some knives, and we will catch you on the next one.